now welcome the virtuoso, the maestro, violinist, Darron Andrews.
Where do I begin tonight? Let me start with John. I've known John for years. As a matter of fact, John and I go back a long way because John was actually working with me when I ran in the 2005 elections. In Marlon's description of him as being a jack of all trades, that absolutely suits him. He was a friend to everybody at the ministry and the tourism authority. I can't say that he is not missed because he is greatly missed. He's loved, and I want to personally thank John for all that he has done, not only from myself, but the ministry, if I can speak on behalf of the ministry, and the board of directors of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority, and the staff of the SVGTA. I move now to P.S. Grant. I first started working with P.S. Grant when I was a senator and she sat in cabinet, and consummate professional. Quiet, but deadly. And I say deadly. Work was always well done, efficient. And I remember when Minister McKie first came to the ministry, I said, one of your strongest areas at the ministry is your permanent secretary. I don't think there's another permanent secretary in the government service that knows the system as well as P.S. Grant does. Now, Minister McKie is a different case. He would like to think that he can still run 100 meter or 200 meter at a serious pace. But I think what made Minister McKie so good at his job was the fact that to a certain extent, he was always doing it even before he got into politics. He's been a man who is really behind culture, really behind sports. For those of you who don't know, he was actually one of our best athletes in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I think when CDC, for example, looks at their past and what has taken place over the past 5 years under Minister McKie, and probably longer, when the SVGTA, when the Ministry of Tourism, National Parks, Rivers and Beaches, and other entities that fall under that ministry, I think one can only be happy. It's not perfect, but one can only be happy and pleased with what he brought to the table and what he has accomplished. I think a lot of times, and especially from a cultural aspect, people see the end product. They don't actually realize what goes on behind the scenes. And so, his job was not an easy one, but he made it look easy. So Minister McKie, thank you so very much for all that you have done. You told me that since the elections has been finished, that people have told you look 5 years younger. I'm happy for you. It's not only a celebration of CES, Minister McKie, P.S. Grant, John. It's also a welcoming of P.S. Dr. Noel McMahon. Vibrant, has been there so far, and you can see the energy. It's a new ministry with different aspects, but she has a great team. But welcome, P.S. I also want to welcome the new minister. A lot of energy also, a lot of great ideas thus far in terms of what he wants to do, the linkages between the different aspects of his ministry. So, welcome to both of you. Elections is now finished. We have a job to do to lift St. Vincent and the Grenadines higher, and we will continue to do that. So thank you very much to all of you, and enjoy the rest of your night.
I've known Minister McKie long before politics.
Mrs. Renetta Peters Morris asked me to make a presentation on behalf of the Department of Culture. I thought, in the limited time presented, what's the best medium of being creative to say something about these awesome persons.
And so we called on one of the best visual artists in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to paint something special for him. The paint is still fresh. And we thank Mr. Calvert Jones so that we could present to the Honorable Cecil McKie for his many years of contribution to the culture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and 9 Mornings specifically.
It's indeed a very great pleasure and honor to be here tonight. And I hope also you are actually enjoying this very wonderful ambience of being in the Botanical Gardens as we pay tribute to 3 persons who have worked and served with distinction, persons whom we have worked with for many, many, many years.
John and I went through a lot. As the driver for the ministry, we drive from Fancy to Richmond on Saturdays and Sundays and public holidays. John was ready. He was always ready to take out the director of sports. We're going to work.
To my outgoing PS, I was coming up here to say that she has never raised her voice in anger, but she assured me that she's shouted at Ashford and Tony Tibbles twice in her life, and therefore I was absolutely distraught.
A special thank you for the wonderful work in making this evening's event the success that it has been so far. Thank you.